Namaste to Guruji, Jai Guruji to his Sangat. Thank you, Sonia Aunty, for giving me this opportunity. Sonia Aunty बहुत टाइम से मेरे को कह रही थी कि जो मैंने गुरुजी को के ऊपर किताब लिखी है, there's a small dedication, to our Guru Sahib, and that book is called Tu Hi Tu, जो मैंने last year लिखी थी. And it's nothing but my share of personal experiences, fairly straightforward, simple, my own impressions, my own connection, my own journey with Guru Sahib. There is nothing exaggerated in that book. It's straight from the heart and written with just one purpose, more and more people should know about Guru Maharaj and find their own connection between their soul and Guruji directly. So, I had read the first two chapters of that book, Tu Hi Tu, and I think I read it way back in March of this year. Uske baad, certain things happened. My dad was here, then I lost my dad, and, series of other changes and a string of events happened in my life. और वो Tu Hi Tu की continuation टूट गई. So then Sonia Aunty requested कि वो किताब आप continue करो. So मैंने खाली first two chapters पढ़े थे, and that was primarily talking about my introduction to Guru Sahib, how I got the invitation to Guruji's Darbar, and some of my initial sort of impressions. तो आज दोबारा से मैं ये सेवा रिज्यूम करती हूँ गुरुजी की कृपा से, और पहले ही सारे श्रोतागणों से माफी मांग लूँ अगर कोई भूल चूक हो जाए. So I will continue chapter 3, which is in my book, and it's titled as My Personal Experiences Start to Cement My Faith. I had already seen and heard people talk about the wonders of Guru Maharaj. I had seen healing and magical transformations happen in front of my own eyes. I do have my share of divine moments as well. The first occurred on a random evening while sitting at Empire State, also known as Chota Mandir, on MG Road in Gurgaon. Just before leaving, I mustered the courage to ask Guruji for help with my economics exam. He started asking me questions on elasticity, supply and demand, one after the other. An auntie sitting next to him, pressing his feet, said, "Beta, note karo, Guruji aapko aapka question paper bata rahe hain." Which means, make a note of these questions. He is telling you your exam paper. So now in this paragraph what I've described is कि जब हम गुरुजी के पास जाते थे तो अपनी आंखों से हमने कुछ ऐसे वंडर्स को देखा, ऐसी मैजिकल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस को होते हुए देखा, that we really couldn't negate the fact that yes, in this era of practicality and logic and science, गुरु महाराज के पास वो शक्ति है कि वो डिजीजेस जिनका साइंस, मेडिकल साइंस में कोई इलाज नहीं, और ये मैं अपनी आंखों देखी आप सबसे बात कर रही हूँ, द क्रेम डे ला क्रेम ऑफ दिल्ली, जिनके पास दुनिया के सारे रिसोर्सेस का एक्सेस था, वो गुरु महाराज के पास उनके चरणों में बैठे हैं. क्लियरली medical science couldn't give them what they were looking for, and hence they had come to Guruji. And सिर्फ उनका लंगर प्रसाद खाके, सिर्फ उनके चरणों में बैठकर शब्द सुनकर, we saw those people transform in front of our eyes. So वो देखकर भी आप अनदेखा नहीं कर सकते. But then again, focusing on my own personal experiences, that started to cement my faith. I have shared this, experience from many, many years ago, where as a student, the most important thing for me was academics. And since I had my economics exam, I mustered the courage to talk to Guruji कि उनसे बात करती हूँ, उनसे blessings लेकर जाऊंगी तो पेपर में पास हो जाऊंगी. So like I said कि मैंने पूछा और उन्होंने मुझसे सवाल करने शुरू कर दिए और मुझे लगा कि Guruji is trying to quiz my knowledge, but he was actually telling me my question paper. So to continue further, I went home, studied those questions again, and lo and behold, sure enough, based on his guidance, I passed the economics exam with distinction. That's when I realized there is more than a feel-good factor to this darbar. Guruji truly did have the powers to foresee and forewarn. He had defeated science long back when my mother's sugar levels came normal after eating so much meetha, which is the sweet prasad. By now, it was clear to me that he had the ability to scan us and see our future. He could predict anything he wanted. He knew exactly what we were doing behind the four walls of our house. Several days later, when I was at my college campus, the phone rings. I was carrying my dad's cell phone, so I picked up. Normally, I would never answer any unknown numbers. On the other end, I hear this unforgettable voice, and instantly I knew it was him. He asked me most lovingly, "Ki kar rahi hai?" Which means, "What are you doing?" I was in the company and immediately started walking ahead of my group. I was surrounded by some of my classmates and felt embarrassed by the call. How would I explain to my crew that in this date and age, a guru was calling me? Shallow, but true. Today, I would give an arm and a leg to get a phone call from the master of the universe. And that is so true, Sangat ji. ये उस वक्त की बात है जब मैं कॉलेज में थी और मेरे पास मेरे फादर साहब का सेल फोन था. गुरुजी का फोन बजता है, मैं फोन उठाती हूँ और फोन उठाते ही मैं समझ जाती हूँ कि ये गुरु महाराज का फोन है. और उस टाइम एक्साइटमेंट की जगह थोड़ी सी एम्बैरेसमेंट थी कि क्योंकि मैं अपने दोस्तों के बीच में बैठी हुई थी और मुझे लगा कि अब गुरुजी का फोन आया है, अगर मेरे आसपास वाले मेरे दोस्त मित्र सुनेंगे तो वो क्या बोलेंगे कि कैसी लड़की है कि इसको गुरु लोग फोन करते हैं. लेकिन ऐसी छोटी सोच थी मेरी और मैंने किताब में इसी बात का जिक्र किया है कि आज उस रब के फोन के लिए आई वुड गिव एन आर्म एंड अ लेग. लेकिन वो भी क्या दिन थे. सो टू कंटिन्यू, आई सेड इन अ वेरी हश टोन, गुरुजी, मैं कॉलेज में हूं और पापा का फोन मेरे पास है. Which means I'm in college and I have my dad's phone. As if he did not know that. गुरुजी को तो सब पता था, मैं क्या गुरुजी को बताती. He very lovingly replicated what I said in Punjabi. अच्छा, डैडी दा फोन तेरे कोल है? शामी आ जाई, डैडी नू नाल लेकर आई और मम्मी नू घर छड़ के आई. Which meant, come to my darbar tonight. Get your dad and leave your mom at home. Soon after college was over, I called my dad en route to the office in Connaught Place. I told him that Guru Maharaj had summoned us and we needed to pick him up from there. We reached home and quickly went to freshen up. I recall it was a non-Sangat day. Guruji had reduced the number of Sangat days from daily to 4 days a week. My mom asked me where we were off to and we said, Guruji called us but instructed us to leave her at home. She was visibly disappointed, but Guruji's hukum, order, needed to be executed. When we reached the Chota Mandir, Maharaj was in his room on the couch. It was just us, Sudama ji and Colonel Joshi uncle. Guruji was in a light mood and was chit-chatting generally about the current state of affairs. Within a few minutes, his drink of coconut water came in a covered silver glass. He took one sip from it and gave the rest to me to drink. My joy knew no bounds. It was, hands down, the best drink in the whole world. I've had sweetest coconut water from different parts of the world, but that nectar was divine. I gulped it down till the very last sip. अर्थात ये कि जब गुरुजी का फोन आया कॉलेज में, गुरुजी हमें उस टाइम बुला रहे थे और उन्होंने आदेश दिया कि शाम को मैं कॉलेज से गुरुजी के पास आऊं, और उस दिन नॉन संगत डे था. आई थिंक इट वाज अ मंडे, एंड बाय दैट टाइम इनिशियली व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड गोइंग टू गुरुजी, तो गुरुजी 7 दिन दर्शन देते थे. लेकिन जैसे जैसे संगत बढ़नी शुरू हुई तो गुरुजी के डेज हो गए थे थर्सडे से संडे, अनलेस गुरुजी आपको स्पेसिफिकली किसी दिन बुलाए. So that day I think happened to be a Monday, and Guruji said, शामी आ जाए और डैडी डूनाल लेकर आए. और जब मैं मंदिर में गई तो वो सबसे हसीन मेरी मुलाकात, या वो कहते हैं ना जिंदगी की सबसे हसीन शाम, वो ही थी. बिकॉज कोई संगत नहीं थी, सिर्फ लिटरली 2-3 लोग थे. और जब हम कमरे के अंदर गए तो गुरुजी एम्पायर स्टेट जिन्होंने देखा है, उनके बेडरूम में एक काउच लगा हुआ है, काउच के ऊपर बैठे हुए थे और उनके लिए नारियल पानी आया. उन्होंने एक घूंट नारियल पानी का लिया और बाकी ग्लास मुझे पकड़ा दिया कि लो ये तुम पियो. और संगत जी, उस नारियल पानी का टेस्ट का बखान मैं नहीं कर सकती. और मैंने यही अपनी किताब में जिक्र किया है कि मैंने दुनिया जहान में डिफरेंट बेवरेजेस को ट्राई किया है, लेकिन दैट वाज नेक्टर. That was the best drink I've ever had in my life. A few minutes later, Guruji called an auntie from the Sangat family, and un auntie ka naam tha Santo Aunty. By the name of Santo Aunty, he asked her on the phone, "Ki banaya hai? What have you cooked today?" She must have replied something to Guruji that I could not hear, and soon after he said, "Okay, then keep the dinner ready. We are all coming." He said that to her in Punjabi and hung up the phone. The beauty about Guruji's Sangat Parivar is that we are always more than ready to welcome each other with just the use of 2 powerful words. आज की तारीख में भी अगर हम जय गुरुजी बोलकर किसी के साथ भी डायलॉग शुरू करते हैं, कॉन्वर्सेशन शुरू करते हैं, so that conversation is based on nothing but pure trust. We don't have to be related to each other. We don't have to know each other. But the second we reach out to each other saying, "Jai Guruji, Auntie, Uncle, can I get this information, or I need this," and we are ever ready to help. Why? Because this is the unconditionality that comes as part of Guruji's family. With these 2 words, a bond is formed instantly. Guruji would say, "Sangat hi asli parivar hai. Sangat is your real family." He sure taught us to live it up, doing Sangat dances in his darbar on special occasions, eating the best and the most delicious langar prasad that would relieve us of physical ailments. Have you ever heard of an option better than that? जहां आप अपने पूर्ण गुरु के शरण में जाते हो, शब्द बानी सुनते हो, लंगर का लुफ्त उठाते हो, कोई कर्म कांड नहीं है, कोई रिचुअल्स नहीं है, और सिर्फ ब्लेसिंग ही ब्लेसिंग है. इससे बेहतर जगह का आपने कहीं सुना है संगत जी? He then summoned Joshi uncle, and just as they started heading out to get his car ready, Maharaj said, "I will come in General Kapur's car." Dad asked our driver Mishra ji to pull up the car and was going to sit in front when Guruji commanded him to go sit with Colonel Joshi. Guruji came and sat next to me in the back seat of our car. Now think back to that wonderful moment. Can you imagine the thrill of being able to ride next to the Supreme Lord himself? I have no words even today to quantify my joy. However, when I think about how I felt at that moment, I was a little nervous. I received the opportunity to inhale the most heavenly fragrance from his 10 dwars, 10 dwar, yeah, dwar is a door, bolte hain. I still don't know why Maharaj was bestowing his blessings on me that day. It felt like he opened his Pandora's box of blessings and showered it all on me. He was giving me insurance coverage for my life ahead. He had the ability to foresee everything. That evening, being face to face with the Lord remains to be the highlight of my life till date. And here's a picture in the book. This is Empire State, for those of you who haven't been. This is where we got connected with Guruji. Moving on to chapter 4, which is getting a priceless gift for life. As much as Guru Maharaj loved his Sangat, he also appreciated receiving love. I would see many people bring boxes of chocolates for him. He would, of course, distribute everything amongst his Sangat. But the thrill of bringing something for him cannot be described. आज भी हम हर संगत सत्संग में ये सुनते हैं कि गुरुजी को 56 भोग नहीं चाहिए, हम गुरुजी को कुछ देने के काबिल नहीं है. However, हमारा गुरु हमारे भाव का भूखा है. हम जो भी श्रद्धा से, प्यार से, भक्ति से उनको अर्पण करेंगे, हमारे गुरु महाराज उसको जरूर स्वीकार करेंगे. So, on my birthday, I also mustered the courage to offer him a box of chocolates. He so graciously accepted the box, took it in his hands and handed it over to another auntie from Sangat, and I clearly remember that auntie was Roma auntie. He was wearing a pair of plain maroon juttis. He removed them and said, "Le chak tera prasad." Take my shoes, it is your prasad. और आज जो दरबार में लगे हुए हैं वो वही गुरुजी की पहनी हुई जुत्तियां हैं. Oh my Guruji, that moment my joy knew no bounds. I proudly possess those juttis even today, and I know that Jutti Prasad has taken a lot of bashing on itself. I have kept them wrapped up in a cloth, but they have torn up and have worn out without anyone ever having worn them, because I got them in a brand new state from Maharaj. This only points to the fact that all the negativity and the hardships that life has thrown at me have been, these juttis has absorbed everything. So again repeating that all the negativity and hardships that life has thrown at me have been absorbed by this prasad given to me by Lord himself on my special day. Since then, on my birthday, I always share chocolates with Guruji, keeping our little pact intact. Fast forward many years to 2015, my birthday fell on a Thursday and I was headed to Guruji's temple but had forgotten to get a box of chocolates. I was feeling terrible about that pact being broken and not being able to share chocolates with him on our special day. I had a few loose candies that I put in my jacket and consoled myself that I would offer those while sitting in the mandir. All of a sudden, an auntie comes out to me out of nowhere and says she just returned from India and someone had sent something for me from there. It was totally unexpected. But I thought it must be a box of sweets. India se log mithai bhejte hain, right? Lo and behold, when I opened the box, it was a box of chocolates. I had no doubt in my mind that Guru Maharaj had orchestrated this for me on my special day. I really do feel extra loved on my birthday year after year. ना उससे पहले ना उसके बाद कभी भी मेरे लिए इंडिया से किसी ने चॉकलेट्स भेजी हैं. मिठाई जरूर आई है लेकिन चॉकलेट्स नहीं आई. As the time goes by, I have no doubt in my mind that this is the best place on earth to be in. A getaway so close to home, a zero stress zone, a happy place, our Guruji's Darbar, a happy place at his lotus feet. So, you know, मैं 2000 या 2001 की बात है जब पहली बार मैंने गुरुजी को अपने जन्मदिन पे चॉकलेट्स दी. और ये जो सत्संग मैंने अभी आपके साथ पढ़ा है, दिस इज फ्रॉम 2015. 12 फरवरी को मैं मंदिर जा रही थी और मैंने रियलाइज किया कि मेरे पास बंद डब्बा नहीं है चॉकलेट्स का. तो कुछ लूज कैंडीज पड़ी थी, वो मैंने अपने जेब में डाली, लेकिन मेरे को बड़ी शर्मिंदगी महसूस हो रही थी कि मैं कैंडीज उनको कैसे ऑफर करूं. एंड देन you know, मेरे माइंड में ये बात चल रही है that I don't have a box of chocolates to offer to Guruji. And auntie comes and she says, you know, somebody sent something for you from India. वो मैंने पैंट्री में रखा है. मैं पैंट्री में जाके खोलती हूँ और वो चॉकलेट्स का बॉक्स था. तो मेरे दिमाग में जो चल रहा था that, oh my God, you know, my pact is going to be impacted. आज मेरे पास नहीं है जो मैं कई सालों से कर रही थी. गुरुजी ने वो भी मेरे लिए भिजवा दिया. Moving on, Guruji also had a very keen sense of humor. He said the funniest things when he was in a joking mood. बहुत ही light, you know, Guruji के दरबार का माहौल होता था और जो उनका sense of humor था वो बहुत ही निराला था. So people who've met Guruji will be able to relate to what I'm sharing because हम सब Guruji के इन jokes पे हंस चुके हैं. So anyone from Indian Administrative Services was called I am sorry. IAS was I am sorry. Sangat from Noida was referred to as no idea. PhD stood for Pagal Hone Ka Dar. Wife was worry invited forever and husband was horse under severe burden and no diversion. So on and so forth. Guruji also loved to play matchmaker. Sometimes, when I would do matha take, he would jokingly tell me, "Badi changi kudi hai tu, fir munda fasa le, vyah kara le." Basically, which meant, you're a very good girl, trap a boy and get hooked. I would turn crimson any time he would say this. Finally, when a proposal came my way, we showed him pictures of the potential candidate and Guruji said, "Yep, go ahead." With his blessings and approval, I got married in Chandigarh. He sent lots of sangat but did not come himself for the occasion. I did smell his fragrance fill up my room for a few minutes when everyone else had gone down to look at the barat. At that moment, I was engulfed in his sweet scent and was assured that he was present, which he later confirmed. I asked him why he came for my sister's marriage and not mine, to which he responded, "Main aaya to see," which meant I did come. And I'm saying that because I felt his presence. I felt that he was around me, which I immediately understood. At that point in time, you know, my then husband and his family were not connected to Guruji, but that has changed. Now, I feel that, you know, even my classmates, my schoolmates, you know, people who 20 years ago, 22 years ago used to poke fun at me for going to Guruji, आज वो सारे के सारे मुझे गुरुजी के दरबार में नजर आते हैं और ये है हमारे गुरुजी की लीला. In fact, you know, when I had gotten married to my husband, since the time we had gotten engaged, I used to tell him that let's go meet Guruji. And every time, you know, he would make excuses on some pretext or the other because clearly, you know, there was no connection. It's hard for most people to believe that, or even try to understand that why are you going to a human being in Kalyug, because trust easily नहीं बनता. So कोई ना कोई excuse हमेशा होती थी, पर असल में वो गुरुजी का बुलावा कब आता है, किस टाइम पे आता है, किसको उन्होंने कब बुलाना है, वो उन्होंने मुकर्रर करना है. So the message here is that we cannot force anybody, and we should not force anybody. कि आप हमारे साथ चलो, या it's our duty to inform people that ये हमारे गुरुजी का दरबार है, आप जरूर आइए. लेकिन अगर वो नहीं आते तो बिल्कुल मायूस मत होना संगत जी, because that's not their choice, it's Guruji's choice. So he would make excuses on some pretext or the other, and his time had not come, but he did get the invitation to his darbar finally in May of 2004. The Shabad Bani that we listen to points to the meaning of a Rasik Vairagi Guru, and our Guru was just that. The one teacher who taught us how to live life while helping us cement our bond with the higher forces in the world of spirituality, transforming us slowly into better humans. While we were singing, dancing, and making merry, he was actually healing and working on our transition of becoming a better version of our own self. I recall the New Year's Eve of perhaps 2002 when he made a bunch of us dance to Ek Punjaban Dil Chura Ke Le Gayi. Yes, Guruji made us dance to this song. It's a song from Major Saab. And as we were dancing, he was scanning our bodies and curing us of known and unknown ailments. Guruji, I miss you and deeply miss being able to touch you and talk to you. And here's a beautiful picture of Guru Sahib. So I finished reading chapters 3 and 4 today. Agli baar jab milenge to I'm going to read the next 2 chapters. But the bottom line is संगत जी कि बहुत किस्मत से एक पूर्ण गुरु की छत्र छाया मिलती है. और अब जब हम उनके चरण में आ गए हैं तो हमें कोशिश करनी चाहिए कि हम रोज उनके लायक बन सके. अब दिवाली आ रही है और 2006 तक हर साल हम गुरुजी के साथ दिवाली मनाते थे. वो अवसर मिलता था और गुरुजी कहते थे कि गुरुआ नाल दिवाली मना लो, अपने घर में तो बहुत बार मना लोगे. एंड गुरुजी वुड laughingly say कि अपने घरों में जाके पत्थर की मूर्तियों को पूजते हो, यहां रब बैठा है और किसी को खबर ही नहीं. सो गुरुजी अब चोला तो छोड़ के चले गए, लेकिन अभी भी वो अंग संग है. And the testament to this is that उनका चोला छोड़ने के बाद, ever since he left his physical form, इतनी संगत बढ़ी है, दिन दुगनी रात चौगनी संगत बढ़ी है. वो क्यों संगत जी? क्योंकि गुरुजी आज भी यही हैं और आज भी वो सुन रहे हैं. सो अनंतम शुक्राना गुरुजी. एक ही अरदास कि हम सबको अपने चरणों से जोड़कर रखना, और कोई भूल चूक हो जाए संगत जी तो मैं क्षमा प्रार्थी हूं. जय गुरुजी. ओम नमः शिवाय. शिवजी सदा सहाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. गुरुजी सदा सहाय. फिर मिलेंगे अगले हफ्ते and I will read the next 2 chapters. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed, whether it's morning or evening, depending on which part of the world you're watching from. Jai Guruji and Namaste to Guruji.